Welcome to Wicked Lies, a podcast of how truth was destroyed by lies. Caution: podcast contains real people who were destroyed by wicked lies. For mature audiences only.
On this Okay, so welcome to our podcast, Wicked Lies. I'm Dawn from Advocates for the Falsely Accused, and Julie's my sidekick. And we're introducing Bashtian Justice and Alan Millard, who are with Men's Equality. And I know you're both very interested in the issue of false accusations, so if you want to maybe talk about that and how it intersects with the men's movement, so go ahead.
Yes, Alan Millard and Alan's been doing this for 40, 50 years. Myself, I've been about 4 or 5 years. And I really looked at the problems men are facing. And false accusations are not only probably the biggest, if not one of the biggest, but it's also one of the crimes that is really not punished at all. So, I started looking into this because I've heard, at first 2 to 10% were false. Then I started seeing other countries and numbers saying anywhere from 50 to 90 to 60 to 90, this, that, and the third. And I was like, oh my goodness, and they're trying to raise punishments for these things and everything. And I just thought it was crazy. I'm like, you talk about a justice system, but how's it a justice system when it's hurting innocent people?
Yeah. We don't have a justice system. We have a legal system.
Amen.
Well put. Yes. Are you familiar with the case where that black man in Colorado, Max, can't think of his full name right now, but I posted that in Men's Equality last night because he served 28 years in prison for it was not only a false accusation, it was for a dream a woman had.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the post. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Good. I'm glad. I did that. I had to do that after speaking with you and showing exactly how mistreated men really are in our society, and how that could even be done is beyond comprehension to me. They even classified it as a dream, and yet he's guilty. Well, what is he guilty of, actually? She's the one that had the dream.
Right. I mean, if I'm remembering the story, she was actually assaulted, but then she dreamed that this other person did it, and so they zoned in on him instead of investigating. Is that sort of how it was?
Yeah. They finally found I guess it was a confession or something, but it's so ridiculous. It's just like they went hunting for a rabbit and they couldn't find a rabbit, so they brought back a damn rat or something. It's like here's we want to find someone guilty and a man guilty. So here you go. It's like that's how discarded men are in our society.
Well, it's the whole evidence. There was no evidence to convict him. They only convicted him on her dream,
Yeah.
her testimony of what she believed, and that they went after him. He fit the description. It had no evidence whatsoever. No
Yeah.
evidence that
Yeah,
he
and a
was
lot
there.
of times they'll zone in on people who don't even fit the description, and they'll convince the victim that in a kind of skewed lineup kind of a situation, that this person must have been the one who did it, and they'll end up believing it because memory is so fickle, particularly when you're under stress. They'll show like one person, like one black guy in a lineup with six white guys, or there was one
Yeah.
case I read about yesterday where, you know, a black man had attacked somebody, but then they put him in a lineup with like 500 other black men with much lighter skin, and so it's like they find ways to make the person
Stick
pick the
out.
person that they, yeah, make them stick out and make them, think that's close enough to what they saw that may have been the person, and it reinforces the memory, and then they just
Stereotypes.
go
Yes.
after them despite contrary evidence, alibis, and whatever else.
When
Yeah.
someone's want to prosecute someone comes before evidence, you a lot of times, what I'm realizing in multiple countries, I've spoken to people in over 20 countries now, you end up hurting more innocent people than the
Mhm.
original crime itself a lot of times. I mean, we all know something like that happening to someone is horrible, obviously, but there is a justice system, there is laws to protect that. Well, what about the false accused? I mean, there is literally, look at Amber Heard, for instance, right? Okay, she got sued, but she really put damage Johnny's life. I mean, he was found in the UK guilty because up there they have laws to where you can't even present evidence to make your accuser look like they were lying. Then he came to America, which America's really bad too, obviously, but we have, not as a bad justice system as the UK. So when he came to down here, which this was for like domestic violence or whatever, we were laughing how innocent he was. But the UK found him guilty when he was
Yeah.
obviously innocent. I mean, look at that and think about that. What is worse, the weirdo supposedly on the street that there's 100 laws against him, or the good innocent person getting abused by the justice system? Who's really in danger? You know?
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, Johnny Depp, that whole thing just really damaged his career. I mean,
But
he got
it
boot.
damaged every truly abused woman
Yeah,
because now no one's going to believe a really abused woman, you know? And so what she did to every woman that's truly abused is disgusting and repulsive, you know? She should be she should be in prison. She should be held accountable.
Yes, because like you get, obviously you get the victim, whether that was a man or woman that was falsely accused, they got to go through it. But on top of that, let's say people who were actual victims, it's a double whammy. I mean, there's two injustices of this, and there is this no reparations, there is no legal punishment for this. And people are like, oh, well, why is this supposedly rising? Well, look at what they're calling sexual assault now. I mean, hell, in some countries, like in India, for instance, right? In India, if a man gets engaged to a woman and they have sex and she calls it off, he can get charged with rape. That's rape in India.
I
No,
heard
And
it's really
ridiculous.
that,
bad in
yes,
India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's
two
insane.
people are intoxicated, man and woman. The man is automatically the guilty party as far as sexual assault in that situation. And but if
Mhm.
they have sex and
Yeah.
a
And the woman,
what who is
it's reason why she can't consent, but for him, it's reason why he's guilty.
Right.
yeah, that's
We
a
have a
big
friend
double
that happened to her
contradiction.
son.
That's crap. Okay, well then who's the guilty party when it's two women?
Right. Right.
That's a good point.
Very good point.
I mean, and this is the thing, like they have laws so set towards a sex that they just try to get convictions. And let's say you have 100 of them and 80 of them get turned down because of no evidence. Oh, well, only 20% of rapists or whatever who they're trying to charge someone with are getting prosecuted. Well, you can't necessarily say that, because if someone accuses you, it doesn't automatically mean you're guilty. I mean, Julie and Dawn, like I said, when I talked with you guys on this, you told me you were falsely accused, and they tried to attack you. They tried to, the legal guardians, the ones supposed to supposedly be the good people, were the ones doing this. And there's this no whatsoever punishments for this, and it's rising. There's been, if you look in 1960, John Davis, quite a few people were putting out stats. I've talked to many police officers about 5 or 6 now that told me it was rampant even then. It wasn't as bad as it was today, but it was. Why wasn't there laws created towards that? What was the reason why we never punished it? And when you look at the other side of that, there's money in this. For instance,
Right.
in Australia, if you accuse a man of domestic violence, you get up to $20,000 sent to you. Even if it was found out it was a lie, she doesn't
What?
have to pay that money back. Yes, and
Yeah, they
a
compensate.
man,
They
yes,
do that in Britain too. They have so-called
yes,
victim
Oh,
compensation.
God.
Yes.
You've got to
yes.
be kidding
Yeah.
me.
No,
No,
it's
this is
I
very
mean, talk
common.
about an incentive to falsely
Yes.
accuse people.
Right.
And listen to this. If a man does it, accuses a woman, she has to be proven guilty. And then he can get the money. But she automatically gets it if she just accuses them. Isn't that insane? Talk about
That's
It's
sexism, right? Jeez.
ridiculous.
wow.
Yes.
Talk about money.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's terrifying, and a man or woman can both be victims of this. And you're seeing, for instance, I mean, look at you guys, like women that have dealt with this, and it's like, oh my goodness, like what are we gonna do about this? And you just want to keep making worse and worse punishments. I mean, imagine, if someone was got beat up or something, right? And then we sat there and we were like, oh, okay, we're gonna make worse punishments for people doing this, and come to find out these people were falsely accusing these people of this left and right. Would you do that to someone like that? Like, would you make a worse punishment for people getting abused? I mean, where is the sanity for this? And there is no outrage. When I post things on this, for instance, right? Like I can post like, oh, this person assaulted someone else. I'll get fucking 20,000 views. Boom, right? I post something on false accusations, you'll see it slowly gain. And it's like, what in the HE double hockey sticks is this? Like, there is no care for this. They are so worried about getting convictions. They're convicting innocent people.
Well, this is the thing that I hear often from people is that they'll say to me, well, they must have had something on you to make the accusations. It's mind blowing. I go,
Yeah, and
no, they didn't.
what they had was what this other person said, and that's
No,
it.
they
Mhm.
wanted the money because the people that accused me wanted my daughter for guardianship because they would get money from the state
Hmm.
and federal government and they wanted the money. It was all about
Yeah, but
money.
the people who believed them in the legal system just essentially took their word. I mean,
I mean,
Well,
that's
the
like
guardian
paying
ad
people to
litem
murder
got
someone.
money, the judge got money, the
yeah.
court
Yes,
appointed attorney got money. They all got money.
God.
And if
yes.
you'd been convicted, the prison system would have gotten money, right?
That's right.
Yes. And you want to talk about a double-bladed sword. I mean, that's like a triple, quadruple-bladed sword. I mean, there's just no justice for this. And the funny thing is, guys, like I said, I work with people in a lot of other countries with Alan, and this is very common. And it's worse in other places than even America, right? And there's just nothing being done about it. And you're seeing more and more reports, more and more people talking about this. And it's like, all right, it's time to do something. Why aren't they? And that's why there is incentives. There's lots of money making in this. It
That's
went
right.
from trying to supposedly, get someone, justice to we're making money off this. Let's make someone a criminal so we can get our court justice, and that's a big problem.
Yeah, they value money over people's lives. It's
That's right.
horrible. And it's like they're making a business out of it.
Oh, yeah, they
Uh,
are.
it's
Yeah.
inconceivable. I know my experiences with the courts and all. I used to be I'm a retired law enforcement officer, and when I started seeing some of the things that they were doing, like to fathers in courts, and including myself, by the way, I just was awestruck. I couldn't believe uh, that any of this was really taking place. It was surreal to me because I always thought that things were like pretty fair. That's what the whole justice system or legal system, as you put it earlier there. I thought it was. I thought it was based on being just, but man, did I learn. And was I disgusted and disappointed in that whole system and the processes.
It's
And it's
disheartening.
legal. Hmm. And it's legal. Like
Right.
that's the worst. Like you want to talk about being in fear of your life, it's legal. I mean, like I said, there could be someone on the street where it's highly illegal to face consequences, but this is legal. The law is a legal way to torture innocent people. I mean, where is the justice in
Being
that?
used that way, yes.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
Everybody
insane.
starts harassing you. The town police that I lived in started harassing me.
Oh my
I
goodness.
I was, in fear of losing my career and my
Hmm.
bosses. I was so fortunate to have bosses that supported me and 100% were behind me. I worked with elderly people that had dementia and disabilities and went into their homes, and my bosses said, "Don't worry, just keep doing what you're doing. We know that you are not this person." I was
Hmm.
so fortunate to have them.
Sure you were.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and this is something else. Let's bring up family court, right? You don't need burden of proof in family court. A judge can make a decision with no evidence. All
Right,
right, tell me a court system that can function without having evidence of a crime. Talk
right.
about a criminal family court, right?
Well,
No jury.
and you get by extension, I mean, CPS can remove children with like no evidence
No, yes.
whatsoever.
And
It's
what's
just
worse than
outrageous.
a child not being raised by a parent, being raised by the state or being raised by
Right.
a system? I mean, if you
I
look at the
didn't know how
system
my
itself,
daughter was. I
hmm
wasn't allowed to see my daughter. I wasn't allowed to give her birthday presents or Christmas presents
oh my
or
goodness.
talk to
That's
her.
horrible. Jeez.
And this, Dawn, did they put a PPO on you by any chance? Because I just got off. I'm talking to someone in Australia. It's called a DVO over there, if I remember right. And it's just like a PPO to where, let's say your child calls you during Christmas. Of course, you're going to pick up because you haven't talked to them in years. You're heartbroken. Then you get arrested for it, even
That's
though
right.
you didn't initially contact, or if the person who put a PPO on you contacts you, they don't get in trouble, but you do. So, how does that make any sense?
It doesn't.
Wow.
Makes no sense. Makes no
The
sense.
setup. Jeez.
Yes, and then they're saying, "Oh, these crimes are rising." This is something else I wanted to kind of point out. All right, let's talk like sexual assault, right? Like, do you know majority of sexual assaults are not the original crime? Like rape, for instance, is not forcing someone to have sex against their, against their wants. It's regret, or we both were drinking and I'm intoxicated and you're intoxicated, but you took advantage of me, but I didn't take advantage of you. You know how many cases of that? That is the new like stats that are coming out. Around 70% of them is that,
Well, that
and that's
increases,
crazy.
yes, that
Yes,
increases their quotas that they want
yes,
because there wasn't enough sexual assault, rape taking place, so they had to change the very definition. But it's funny how other crimes don't change, like murder. There, it doesn't change.
Yeah.
The
yes.
definition doesn't change. So how in the hell is it possible for them to be even allowed to do that?
Yeah, it's crazy. Have you heard about the hockey case in Canada?
No,
There
I
were
don't know if I have.
five hockey players that had consensual sex with this woman. She actually literally asked them for sex, and she later regretted it, and she accused them of rape. And fortunately, they had gotten consent from her on a video, but even so, it went to trial and their careers were put on hold, and they were just totally dragged through the mud. And thank God the judge saw sanity and said, it's obvious this woman consented, and she dismissed the charge. Or I guess she actually acquitted them. But I heard after that happened that, and it's probably a feminist group, I don't know for sure, but that somebody in Canada was trying to um, basically make it illegal to videotape consent. So how are people
Jeez.
supposed to protect
Yeah,
themselves?
that's insane.
They
Well,
don't
well,
want
let's
them to. Yeah.
another case on this, the Crystal Magnum. I don't know if you guys remembered her. She's the one that falsely accused the Duke lacrosse team, right? Just to come
Hmm.
to find out they were innocent. They never got their scholarships back. Their lives were ruined, right? And on
Right.
top of that, Crystal Magnum got out and went to prison a few years later for murdering someone. So you
Oh,
want to
wow.
talk about getting predators off the
Yeah.
street?
Yeah. Right.
Let's talk about it. Come on, let's do
Yeah.
it. But there's
I,
nothing on this. And
yeah, I
this
need,
is something you're seeing. Many people who
yeah,
do this don't stop. They keep going because why would they stop? Shit, they're getting money
right.
for it now.
Right.
Shit, they're told
Yeah,
they're, you're doing a good thing. You're getting predators
Then,
off the street. It's
right.
insane.
and then
Yeah.
they're
So
honored
I
by
need,
feminists. They're featured in some of their biggest
Magazines.
positions.
right.
They're on
So
the front
Yeah.
page
I
of
need to correct
magazines, front
I
covers.
need
Yeah.
to correct myself. What they're doing in Canada is not making it illegal to video consent. They are trying to make it not admissible in court if you video consent. So,
Nancy Mace is trying to kind of bring that here. I don't know. They were doing research on like false accusations of rape called the rape shield law they ended up making, right? And they made
mhm,
it so you can't show certain evidence. Nancy Mace is trying to bring UK, and she's a Republican, okay, who's a congresswoman in the United
mhm,
States. She's trying to bring the UK law to where Amber Heard was found innocent and Johnny Depp guilty over here, to where you can't bring this evidence up if someone accuses, whether it's man or woman. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying a person that
uh-huh,
accuses someone, that she's trying to bring that here. And also something I'm seeing is Nancy Mace is another one that got in trouble for falsely accusing 4 guys and is facing civil charges for that now,
oh,
getting sued.
really?
And she's still a congresswoman.
Perfect
It's
Oh,
like,
example.
oh my
Yes.
goodness.
right.
Yeah, that's
Perfect
crazy.
example.
I
Jeez.
tell
It's insane.
everyone to always have a dash cam in their car, to walk around with a body camera on them, because you
Hmm.
don't know when it's going to happen to you. You don't know if you're going to be shopping in a store or be in a parking
Hmm.
lot and something happens. You can't
Hmm.
keep your camera, record fast enough. You've already missed the most important stuff.
Yes, yes. And like I said, once again, they want to talk about people not getting justice. Well, once again, let's talk about that because there is a justice system for all that. Where is the ones for people who've been a victim like you have, Julie, like your son has, Dawn, like Alan has, like many people I know of this? Where's the justice? And that's something when I ask these people, they never have an answer for. Or they'll tell me, oh, it'll prevent people from coming out. Okay,
Yeah,
like
say that,
where's
but
your where's your evidence for that though? I mean, I would argue it's the other way around. I hate to say it, but
Yes.
you know what I mean? Where is the evidence that it would prevent anyone from coming out? And they say, well, if you make a false accusation law, then people will be scared to come out. Oh, so you're scared the same justice system. You put these men and women who get falsely accused all the time, their life's in their hands. You're not comfortable with that being your life? You get what
yeah,
I'm saying with that? As in,
right.
Yeah,
you
they're
trust the jury or the judge to ruin an innocent person's life, but you don't trust them with getting your case wrong and ruining your life?
Absolutely.
Maybe we do have a problem.
Yeah, maybe there's a problem. So my son's attorney straight up told me when I asked him, there's just no will in our legal system to go after a false accuser unless it's just like a super egregious case where, the person's admitted they lied and all this other stuff. But if they haven't, and they almost never do,
Hmm.
they're not gonna go after him for perjury. I mean, the girl who
And,
accused my son got 2 people to lie for her. They made statements saying that. Nobody went after her for, suborning perjury or whatever. It's
and
crazy.
And here's the thing with perjury that's crazy too, okay? I can't call 911 and report someone just falsely accused me. It's if a judge hears about it. Imagine if we did other crimes like that. If someone murders you, you can't call 911 if someone murdered your brother or your sister. But if a judge hears about it, they might try him for you. That's insane. And you want to talk about no justice? Once again, let's talk about it. I mean, it's a stacked game. And it's not just men, there's women who are getting falsely accused now. There's a lot of people where this is just destroying lives. The children going through this embarrassed, or children that, I've seen a couple cases where, well, child molestation, they said, oh, this parent touched this child, which obviously they didn't. They were even proven innocent, right? But there's just nothing there to stop this. There is nothing there to combat it. And it's like, oh, these crimes are rising. Not really. If you look at it, the crimes themselves aren't rising. What they're calling a crime or
Mhm.
that crime is what's rising. They're
how
changing
they're
definitions.
redefining it. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to get too deeply into this today, but I mean, it is so easy to convince a child to say something that you obviously want them to say. You know, they'll say it didn't happen, and then I don't remember, and then, you know, mom keeps pushing them and pushing them, and eventually, well, yeah, daddy did do something, and you know,
Yeah.
it's just it's not that
Well, they're
difficult.
like,
I had this big
That's
old Facebook argument with this woman, you know, children don't lie and all this stuff. Well,
yes.
not
Okay. Well,
they
I can
they
tell
don't
a
start off
3-year-old
that
the
way, but you
I
know,
can
if
tell a
somebody's
3-year-old the
pushing
sky
them,
is blue or red every day. I can tell them the sky's orange every day. Eventually, they're gonna believe it. You know what I
exactly,
mean?
Well,
And that's
that's
the
exactly.
problem with
because
that.
that
I've
is
got
truly brainwashing. If you look up the definition, if you tell somebody over and over the same thing,
Being groomed. Yep.
eventually they
Yeah.
believe it.
I mean, it
Yeah,
even
it's
works
being
with
there.
groomed.
adult witnesses. I mean,
Well, the
it's why
thing is,
this testimony is so unreliable.
yes, and the thing is, I've got these references, these books that they're investigative reporting, and they had undercover people that had enough guts to do it against the system that they put these children in the state's care, and then they're completely indoctrinated by what the state wants them to say. And
Yep.
there's cases where they were deprived food, and they were deprived even being able to go to the bathroom unless they confessed and said what they wanted them to say. These are actual cases,
Yeah,
not made up.
Mhm.
yep, I've read many of those. Yeah,
There's a
And,
it's
historic case
shameful.
from the uh, late 70s, early 80s that was made into a movie. It's called Just Ask My Children, and it's a
uh-huh.
historic case. And it, you know, the two boys that they took out of the parents' homes and everything, um, you know, they talk about that case still today about what happened to them, and it's horrible. You know, the state forced them to talk about their parents like doing satanic rituals to them in the basement that just couldn't have happened physically. And their parents went to prison, and these poor boys, you know what they went through. And it's a historic case though of how
Yes,
Yep.
and not only, like I say, we got to worry about, people getting falsely accused, obviously, and that, someone just being angry, but now there's money involved. So this is a whole system we're going to have to defeat because they make money off ruining innocent people's lives. What is more criminal than that?
right,
And no one can ever answer that question.
right.
Right. Okay, well, I'm gonna wrap it up. So yeah, I know we wanna see false accusers prosecuted. Is there anything else you would like
Yes,
to add that
I
you'd like
want
to see change in the system?
Well, I wanted to bring this up. I am working with both of these women on with their groups against false accusation. We are going to be doing, like I said, a worldwide thing and come out with a lot of numbers, a lot of stats that are all be backed by sources talking about this. Dawn is a great leader of this. Julie is a great leader of this, and what they do for the falsely accused is beautiful. Please follow them, give them support, and let's change the system.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amen.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to end the recording. It was great talking to you.
Thank you for listening to Wicked Lies. If you would like to learn more about advocates for the falsely accused, join us at www.theaffa.org. That's www.theaffa.org.